Welcome back to the one channel that swears he can be an Iron Man life skiller. My name's Teddy, and because the Black Desert subscription costs too much for a new player, I'll be showing you my updated, easy to follow, no value pack routine, perfect for those either trying to be an Iron Man life skiller, or for the freer player without the value pack. Of course, like with everything in Black Desert when it comes to life skills, this will work better for the pay to win players. This is mainly just for those not wanting to spend real money, but still make in-game money without the plus 30% silver collection upon central market sales. If you find this helpful, leave a like, use the new hype feature, and with all of that out of the way, let's get right into this. Start off the routine. I'll tend to my farms I have first to get more crops throughout the day. I prefer using one magical and one mysterious if I have them for the blush leaf and the fruits of nature. If I only have the magical, I'll plant all and breed for the extra byproducts. As for the seeds, I stick to using the purple mushroom and the dry mains grass here in the coastal cliff. After fertilizing, it usually takes around 4 hours to grow, letting me do other things during the day while I wait. For cooking weeks, I'll stick to making the usual hot pepper, garlic, and onion to craft each of the crons meal. I'll harvest all the mysterious for the extra produce and keep breeding plants to get the mysterious seeds to make more. The blush leaf are used for contribution and more farming experience. After that, I'll take the special crops to Camilla Logier to convert them down to the white grades for cooking, and it's on to the next thing. Next up is gathering. I usually start off taking the Liana weekly, daily, and I'll start checking the barter UI to see what land goods I'll need to start bartering after the refresh. Gathering for the bartering goods usually doesn't take that long with higher mastery, but the main goal for gathering is mainly for the fairy breath, the wand, dawn, crystal life, furry traces for more sharps, and maybe if you're lucky, the millennial wild ginseng. After land goods, next it's onto the ingredients from herb gathering or the meats hunting cannot get. You have places like herb gathering in bear, Jira rune, snake and scorpion gathering, Ruscula coral gathering, or Gaffer tree sapping in Adonia, and the usual pilgrim's haven mining. It normally doesn't take long for me to use up all 612 energy, and having other gathering alts and spots can extend how long you can gather for. If you're just using a single tune, gathering will probably take you an hour at the most if you're not popping any energy recovery items. Out of all the drops, the most important ones like the fairy breath will be converted into sharps, the ancient dust are turned into Caphras, and the Lelos petals are exchanged for mythical feathers. After gathering, we have hunting. For matchlock hunting, I'll always take the Liana hunting quests, then I'll stick to the Shadow Lions for the meat and blood, or the rhinos since the wild spark byproduct were increased and are exchanged for the black gem fragments. Without a value pack, trophies and breaths have no real use for me. Hides aren't really useful even with the value pack, so I just store them in storage for crafting later. The last items are the hunting trade items that can be used in the handicraft workshop to make hunting trade trophies used for a little bit of extra money out in Buckbow. For sniper hunting, this is mainly for meats, bloods, and the concentrated black gems for more enhancing. There's also a chance for the forest crystal for the life and vital crystals, more trophies that won't matter without the value pack to sell on the central market, and the breath of the morning that can be vendored to make a little bit of money to start off. Because hunting can use less energy, I'll keep the hunting time down to a duration of the seafood crons meal and use different alts for both matchlock and sniper hunting to speed up how quickly I can get to each area. Now it's off to do sailing dailies. Dailies usually won't take long with faster boats, but if you're just starting out, I recommend doing this after gathering the land goods to get it out of the way for the day. Because I have a carrot, this will take less than an hour to complete all the normal weekly and dailies. The drops are normally pretty bad for me, so I don't account for making any money while sailing, but there is a chance to find a Margoria treasures worth up to 3 bill, or get a good rare drop from the sea monster hunting worth 10 mil or higher. The whole goal for me now that I have the carrot is to slowly grind the materials to finish upgrading another while working on saving crow coins for the blue grade carrot part upgrades. And because I have the carrot, I can also use the Creo fishing while I sail around to earn a little bit of extra money just for autopathing. Lower ships will not have this, so don't expect a lot of money to be made from sailing unless you get really lucky on the drops or the bartering. After the sailing is all taken care of, it's time to switch to another tune and get processing done. Because I have a ton of workers gathering materials, I'll choose the ones I'll be using for the day, like filtering bags of muddy water for purified water, making flour and doughs for cooking, and lastly, the ingots for crafting manos, utensils, or bottles. Depending on the amount of materials, time can vary, but I try to stick to an hour of mass processing so I can move on to something else with how long the processing can take even with higher mastery. All longer processing sessions for trade crits usually take a whole day, so let's avoid that. With the cooking ingredients ready, before I switch to yet another alt in Olivia, I take the cooking and alchemy quest from Liana to save time, then I switch. Before starting any cooking, I'll run to the farm to burn all the energy on this alt to resupply any milk used during any cooking routines, buying any ingredients from the cooking vendor, then I'll start cooking. Cooking doesn't make a lot of money, so I'm gonna stick to cooking the Imperial delivery limit and refill any cron meal used. If I have the cron's meal stocked up already, I'll keep making the lesser dishes to combine when I decide to pay half a bill or more for the ancient cron spice. I'll also make a few batches of the grilled bird meat and organic feeds to last a week or a little longer. All the witch's delicacy can be used on milk to help out with the milking while energy recovers each day, but that's where cooking usually ends for me. As for alchemy, this is highly dependent on the amount of materials you and your workers can gather, so I like to start off with keeping at least 20k sinner and clown's blood for alchemy stone repairs, whichever imperial medicine box elixir is the easiest to craft, and finally the Vidir drafts, elixir of indignation for matchlock hunting, hilarity, or the deep blue tidal drafts. If the sea monster hunting drops are good and I have the blue whale oil, I'll also make the perfume of swiftness, but those are extremely rare. I personally like to make more metal solvent and essence of nature for more Manus accessories to gear more alts in full Prion, but I suggest avoiding doing this with how bad the crafting costs and enhancing costs can be. Buying them from the central market doesn't need a value pack and is the way to go. Lastly, if you're lucky enough to get any alchemy stones from the rare alchemy proc, this can be used for enhancing attempts, which can be done throughout the week. To avoid buying one, by all means, if you can't afford a resplendent or higher life or destruction alchemy stone, go for it. The mysterious catalyst can be used for whatever powders you need, but for me, these are the fastest ways to earn contribution points for my worker empire. After alchemy, I'll get my training set up using my main and an alt in a different region. I'll take the usual weekly and dailies to finish first, which can range from a few minutes with good luck up to an hour if I get frustrated with bad RNG I normally have. The main focus here is to get any horses level 15 or higher to avoid needing to AFK train them at night, while also making money with the Imperial delivery. If you're unlucky, you can still make a decent amount of silver from vendoring the lower level horses, but if you're lucky enough to find the E7 or T8s, these will be either saved for training later, or if level 15 or higher, they could be bred once they're placed in storage. For enough horses, I'll switch to getting all the loose ends for the day done before ending the day or routine off with AFK fishing. Before jumping over to the beach, if I haven't killed the Dark Rift bosses for the week, I'll go around, kill the ones that have spawned for the chance at the gold boxes to earn billions and the Aether essence needed for alchemy stone enhancing. If I have the money for the Aquila pieces or the sharps, I'll do a few taps to try my luck. After that, it's on to the Dream Horse Awakening. I try to keep an alt out here to speed up things, but the goal of this is to get more dreams awakened to Imperial Deliver for the higher chances of getting the Lumaloft lamp piece I still need. Having to wait for the horse market to sell to another player if they even want the horse, and until I finish this wagon treasure, all these dream horses are just overpriced bottles of glue waiting to be sold. Something I don't think most would believe, but with wanting a second map and compass for my other alts, I usually switch to grind out the treasure pieces. It's not going to make a lot of money on the trash drops, but the sealed black magic crystals and the pieces are the most important drops, not the lower value trash. Before you ask, no, only mob grind for the life skilling items needed and not for the combat progression. Pearl Abyss will usually give out free ways to take care of that. Once all the life skilling and mob grinding, I usually take the extra artifacts I'm not using and break them down for the chance at any light stones I might need. This is also a great way of making money if you have a value pack and manage to get a good stone like the Patience Floralite stone for 3.1 bill over here on NA. Lastly, it's on to either trying to enhance my main's gear or alts to help this routine out more and wind down. I like to do at least 1 to 2 attempts a day if I have the concentrated black gems or crons for the pen attempts. This usually doesn't last long with my terrible RNG, so afterwards it's on to making money back with fishing and end off the routine or AFK fish for the night. I'll always want to check where the contest location is, and I'll take the triple float quest from Abilene every 3 days, the one from Gerald, and finally the Liana fishing quest. These rods are king when you don't want to rent the pearl rod for 30 days. If you're extremely unlucky with the hotspots, this can take several hours to get the 4 fish needed, but hey, at least you still have a chance for the mystical fish, right? Competing in the fishing contest not only can make billions on the fish alone, but helps level fishing, can earn a ton of fishing buffs that usually cost a ton of money, and can make a few billions on the winnings alone. Just make sure when choosing a spot to wear your best AFK fishing setup and have the highest mastery for that small chance at a jackpot. And there you have it, my go-to routine when I don't have the value pack or I just don't want to deal with the central market. This is not to say you can't just list the materials on the central market without the value pack. It's just in almost every case that negative 30% silver back on the sales is just not worth it, and waiting for an event value pack is the better option. While I don't recommend playing an Iron Man Lifeskiller playstyle like me, for those still wanting to play the game while not having to wait for events, this routine should give you the ideas on how to take those extra materials you haven't used in years and start putting them to some use each day. For those with the value pack, this is a great way to make easy money listing everything you're not using on the central market. But let me know what you think about this routine as a free player and what adjustments you'd make if you were to do the same thing. Be sure to share this around with anyone not wanting to buy a value pack but still wants a life skill. With all of that out of the way, be sure to check out the channel for more Black Desert content to help you continue life skilling, and keep gathering out there, everyone.